Hello friends, today we look into an interesting topic called percentages and the problems related to it. Yes, so to start with the basics, percentage, it is symbolized by percent symbol. Normally we use percentage to compare the two quantities. Say how large or small a quantity is when compared to the other one. So basically it is used for the comparison, and the base number which is used for percentage is 100. So that is the base for percentage. Say how we can compare. I can give you an example. Say there are two persons, say Ram and Ravi, where Ram has bought 100 oranges and Ravi has bought 60 oranges. Ram has bought 100 oranges and Ravi has bought 60 oranges. And out of these, Ram, out of 100 oranges, he has sold 30 oranges. And Ravi also, out of 60 oranges, he has sold 30 oranges. So these two persons, they have sold same quantity of apples, right? Ram and Ravi, both the persons have sold 30 oranges. Whether their percentage is same? No, because the quantity that resides within them, that is, Ram has 100 oranges. Out of 100, he has sold 30 oranges. Whereas Ravi has only 60 oranges. Out of 60, he has sold 30 oranges. So the percentage differs. Can you get my point? So here it is 30 by 100 into 100. So here he has sold only 30% of oranges. Whereas Ravi, it is 30 by 60 into 100. That is 1 by 2 into 100, which is 50%. So you can compare using percentage. You can compare whose sales percentage is higher. Only Ravi's sales percentage is higher because Ram's sales percentage is only 30%, whereas Ravi's percentage is 50%. So he has sold 50% of orange what he has within him, whereas Ram has sold only 30% of oranges what he has within him. Right? So percentage, it is basically used for comparing the two quantities, and just we can analyze from that comparison we can say which is smaller or which is the greater one, right? And 1 by 2 we can say how to convert a fraction to a percentage. Normally we say that 1 by 2 it is nothing but 50%. Half is always, everyone remember that 1 by 2 is equivalent to 50%, and 1 by 5 it is equivalent to 20%, and 1 by 3 is 33.33%. Normally some fractions we do remember. So how to convert this? How to convert a fraction to a percentage? So a fraction when multiplied by 100, it gives you a percentage. So if you are given with a fraction and if you want to convert that fraction to an appropriate percentage value, you have to multiply the fraction by 100. See, and there is a simple example to understand this. A child eats 6 out of 12 cakes, then he has eaten 50% of the cakes. Yes, right. So total cakes what he possesses within her is, what she possesses within her is 12 cakes. Out of 12 cakes, how much cakes he has eaten? 6. So 6 by 12. That is the fraction part, and you need to give that rate in a percentage. So you have to multiply the fraction by 100. So 6 by 12. Out of 12 cakes, he has eaten 6 cakes. That is 6 by 12. Since you need to convert it into percentage, we have to multiply the value by 100. So 6 by 12 into 100, cancel it, you'll get 1 by 2 into 100, which is nothing but, which is equivalent to 50%. So whenever we need to convert a fraction to a percentage, we need to multiply the fraction by 100. See, these are some of the base fractions what we need to remember. It will be very easier. See, just have a note at the back side of your notebook. Just note down everything. So once we look into a problem, you can quick away say that if I ask you what is 1 by 7 of 700 or like that, you can say it is equivalent to 14.28%. What is 1 by 19 of so and so value? You can say it is 5.26%. So better try to remember all these percentage so that you can save your time in the competitive exams. So 1 by 2 is always equivalent to 50%. 1 by 3 is equivalent to 33.33. These two things obviously I think we people remember. And 1 by 5 is 20%, what we had to remember. 1 by 7 is 14.28%. 1 by 11 is 9.09%. 1 by 13 is 7.69%. 1 by 17 is 5.88%. 1 by 19 is 5.26%. These are the base fractions, and I'll tell you that why we call them as base fractions, because from the base fractions we used to derive many fractions. So further in the forthcoming slides we are going to see how the fractions are derived by multiplication, either by multiplication or by division. So this forms the base for everything else. So these are termed as the base fractions, right? And the derived fractions which I got through multiplication, right? We know that the base fraction, see, 1 by 3 I mentioned here, 1 by 3 as 33.33%. See, from 1 by 3 can we calculate the value of 2 by 3? Yes, exactly. See, 1 by 3 you have to multiply 1 by 3 into 2. I'll make it you clear cut one. Else we'll go with the paint. I think that will be very clear. I can highlight the points, right? Yes. So here 1 by 3. 1 by 3 is equal to what they have given is 33.33%, right? 1 by 3 is equal to 33.33%. I better enlarge this so that it will be easily viewable. Yes, and right. Okay, so right, I don't want to waste time. 1 by 3 is equal to 33.33%. From that I am going to calculate the value of 2 by 3. See, 1 by 3 into 2, am I right? 1 by 3 into, you have to multiply the fraction by 2, so that which fraction you will get? 2 by 3, isn't it? So 1 by 3 when multiplied by 2 will get 2 by 3. Similarly, the fraction is also 33.33. Multiply the value of 33.33 by 2, you will get the value for 2 by 3. So these are called the derived fraction. So you have to multiply 33.33 into 2, which is equivalent to 66.66. So now the value of 2 by 3 is, see, 66.66. Okay, so how we get, this is the base fraction, 1 by 3 is the base fraction, which is equivalent to 33.33. From the base fraction we can calculate the value for the derived fraction. So 1 by 3 when it is multiplied by 2, I will get the value as 2 by 3. Yes, so multiply this 33.33 into 2, you will get 66.66. Clear? The rest are all same. See, for 1 by 4 it is 25%. Is it clear now? 3 by 4, how will you get 3 by 4? 1 by 4, if you know the value of 1 by 4, definitely we can calculate the value of 3 by 4. Am I right or not? See, again I repeat, if 1 by 4 is equal to, say 1 by 4 is equal to, how much percent ma? 25%, am I right? Yes, 1 by 4 is equal to 25%. 1 by 4 is equal to 25%. So 1 by 4 when multiplied by 3 will give you the answer 3 by 4. Yeah, 1 by 4 multiplied by 3 will give you 3 by 4. What is the fraction value for 1 by 4? 25. Similarly, 25 multiplied by 3, you will get 75%. So 3 by 5. So the fraction 3 by 4 is equivalent to how many percent? How much percent? 75%. These are all the derived fractions. I think it will be much more clear. Similarly, for 1 by 5 is equivalent to 20%, then 2 by 5, that is you are multiplying 1 by 5 by 2, which gives you 2 by 5, which is 20 into 2, that is 40%. And 1 by 11 is equal to 9.09. If you want to calculate the value for 2 by 11, you have to multiply this by 2, 9.09 into 2, it gives you 18.18%. These are some of the derived fractions which we get by multiplying. And from division also, see, derived fractions by division. If the value of 1 by 3 is 33.33, then the value of 1 by 6. Yes, How will you get the value of, if we know the value of 1 by 3, definitely we can calculate the value of 1 by 6, because 1 by 6 can be obtained by dividing 1 by 3 by 1 by 2. Sorry, dividing 1 by 3 by 2, that is 1 by 3 by 2, that is 1 by 3 into 2, which is 1 by 6. So divide this fraction by 2, you will get the value for 1 by 6. Similarly, for arriving at a percentage value, divide this value by 2. That is 33.33 divided by 2, you will get the answer as 16.66%. Similarly, 1 by 12, the value for 1 by 12, the fraction 1 by 12 is equivalent to 8.33%. And from this, we can calculate the value of 1 by 9. So, if 1 by 12 is equivalent to 8.33%, then 1 by 9, just 1 by 9, no, 1 by 6, and from 1 by 6, I think, yeah, from 1 by 6, we can derive the value for 1 by 12. That is 1 by 6 divided by 2. Divide the value of 1 by 6 by 2, that is divide the 16.66 by 2, you will get 8.33%. And the next one is 1 by 9, that is equivalent to 11.11%, which again from 1 by 3, you can calculate the value of 1 by 9. Again by dividing the value of 1 by 3 by 3, you get the value of 1 by 9. So divide 33.33 by 3, you get the answer as 11.11%. And for 1 by 5, 1 by 5 is equivalent to 20%. That is, again, if you want to calculate the value of 1 by 25, divide the value of 1 by 5 by 5. Similarly, 20 by 5, you will get 4%. And 1 by 11 is equivalent to 9.09%. From this, you can derive the value of 1 by 22. It can be obtained by dividing the value of 1 by 11 by 2. So, 9.09 divided by 2, you will get the answer as 4.54%. So, these are some of the derived fractions which you can calculate within no time, so that you can save your time in doing all these calculations. So, just better try to remember the base fractions so that we can calculate derived fractions very quickly and easily. Yes, now we better move into the statement type, which is that is the category 1. That is 75 is what percent of 100? That's a very common or a basic question in percentage. 75 is what percent of 100? So 75 by 100, that is the fraction, what percent? So into 100, 75 by 100 into 100, that is equal to 75. Or you know that 75 is equivalent to 3 by 4%, 3 by 4 fraction. 75% is equivalent to the fraction 3 by 4. So again, if you multiply 3 by 4 into 100, you will get the answer as 75. X is what percent of Y? What percent of Y? So Y should be in the denominator and X should be in the numerator. So always X is what percent of Y. Say 20 is what percent of 80 is what percent of 100, or what to say, 70 is what percent of 130. We can ask like this. So the greater number, that is the Y, comes in the denominator and the X comes in the numerator. So X by Y into 100. X by Y into 100. The next one, increase 500 by 50%. So you have to increase the base, here the base number given is 500 and you have to increase that particular value by 50%, right? So you have to increase 500 by 50%. So first try to find out the value of what is 50% of 500. We can easily say 50% of 500, that is 50% is equivalent to what? 1 by 2. 50%, always try to remember the base fractions, okay? So 50% is equivalent to 1 by 2. So what is half? 1 by 2 of 500. 1 by 2 of 500, cancel it, equal to 250. So 50% of 500 is equal to 250. So you have to increase that 500 by 50%. So since the term increase is there, you need to add this 250 with that of 500. So 500 plus 250, you'll get the answer as 750, right? So you have increasing 500 by 50%. That is one way. Other way is, just try to find out the integrating factor. That is, increase 500 by 50% and add 500. See, in single line I can write the equation. I have increased first, I try to find out 50% of 500 and I have added this value to that of 500. So from this equation, I think we can take 500 as common and 50 by 100 plus 1, that is an integrating factor. This is called as, this is the base number and this is called as the integrating factor, which gives you an answer that is called as the product. Yes, I think for this value you feel that the first method is far more better when compared to the alternate one, but in this case what you felt is right. The first thing is good. Because we can easily understand, whereas the rest one, that is this alternate method where we have to extract the common factor, need to find the integrating factor, you feel a little bit difficult, but in whole number you feel this one. But if the question list in this way, I can put another way, increase 500 by 14.28%, or increase 500 by 11.11%. What happens? You could not easily find out what is 11.11% converting into fraction, and again it is another tedious work where it grabs all your time. So better go with this method, finding out the integrating factor. I think it will help you better, and that is what we are going to see later on in the forthcoming slides. Right, let us increase the value of y by x%. So y, this is the equation. Always try to find out first you have to find out what is x% of y, and you need to add this x% of y to that of the base number y. That's all, very simple. Framing the equation is very simple, and from this you can see that y is common, so better extract y outside. So y into x by 100 plus 1, this is the integrating factor, this is the base, so base into integrating factor will give you the product. And this is how we have to solve the rest of the problem. See, once you jump into the problem you can quite easily understand what I'm coming to say, right? And similarly, base is equal to, see, base into integrating factor is equal to product, or base is equal to product divided by integrating factor. And in case if you want to increase the value, you have to do plus 1 here. If you want to decrease the value, you have to do minus there. The integrating factor becomes plus while the value get increased, and the integrating factor should be subtracted, or it becomes minus when the value gets decreased. Yes, now the problem is decrease 200 by 20%. What you have to do is you have to decrease 200 by 20%. That is, the base is 200. You need to decrease by 20%. Since it is decreased, the integrating factor should be minus. So 1 minus 20 by 100. 200 into 1 minus 20 by 100. Can you understand this equation now? See, this is the base into integrating factor. 1 minus, instead of x I use the 20, so 1 minus 20 by 100. What is y? Y is the base number, which is equal to 200. So 200 into 1 minus 20 by 100, cancel it, you will get 0.8, that is 160. If you decrease 200 by 20%, the answer is 160. Right. See, there are some other practice problems here. Increase 500 by 50%. 50% I can write 1.5, or I can even write 500 into, again it is 1 plus 1 by 2. 1.5 can also interpreted in the integrating factor, it is 1 plus 1 by 2. Increase 700 by 14.28%. Now you must know what is the fraction corresponding to this percent. 14.28%. The fraction corresponding to 14.28%, just coming to the previous slide, you can quite easily get that answer, right? Yes, see, 14.28%, the corresponding fraction is 1 by 7. So now I can form the integrating factor, which is very easier. So 700 is the base into 1 plus 1 by 7. I'm searching, right. 700 is the base and 1 plus 1 by 7. Now can you get my point? See, 14.28% converting into a decimal or calculating the value, it is very tedious one. It's a very complicated one. So better convert this percentage into fraction. That is 14.28% is nothing but it is 1 by 7. The fraction corresponding to the percentage is 1 by 7. So the integrating factor becomes, say, 1 plus, why? It is increase. So it is 1 plus 1 by 7. So you better try to solve it, you'll get the answer. And if it is decrease, instead of plus, you have to replace it by minus. And the next one is increase 800 by 25%. So 800, and you know that 25% is equivalent, and the corresponding fraction is equivalent to 1 by 4, isn't it? 25%, 1 by 4, yes, 1 by 4 is equivalent to 25, here it is. So 25%, the corresponding fraction is 1 by 4, what I can use here. So 800 into 1 plus 1 by 4, that is 800 into 5 by 4, which is 1000. So this is how some practice problems are given. Better practice with some more problems, you'll get very familiar with the conversion of fraction to percentage and vice versa. And once you are familiar with those, if you remember those base fractions, and it will be very easy for us, and we can save our time also. Next we proceed into the problem. If John's salary is 25% more than Martin's salary, then by what percent is Martin's salary less than John's salary? This kind of problems quite often we come across in competitive exams. See, again I use the same formula here, that is base into integrating factor will give you the product. The same formula I am going to apply here, that is how I am going to apply it, that matters a lot. Yes, John's salary is equal to how much? 25% more than Martin's salary, right? John's salary, let me take as J, is equal to, it is 25% more. So 25% is equivalent to 1 by 4. 25%, the corresponding fraction is 1 by 4. It is more than, so it is 1 plus 1 by 4 m. Since it is more than, if it is less than, I can use 1 minus 1 by 4. So 1 plus 1 by 4 than that of Martin's salary, which is m. So J is equal to 1 plus 1 by 4 of m, and simplify it, you will get John's salary is equal to 5 by 4 of m. Now, but that is not the question. By what percent is Martin's salary less than John's salary? So keep Martin's salary here. So bring this 5 by 4 to the left hand side. It becomes 4 by 5. So Martin's salary is equal to 4 by 5 of John's salary. Again this 4 by 5. So how much it is decreased? Actually the salary is less. That is very obvious. And we need to find how much it is less. So that you have to interpret this 4 by 5. 4 by 5 can be written in another way as in terms of minus, since it is lesser than. So since Martin's salary is lesser than John's salary, I can write this 4 by 5 in the form of 1 minus 1 by 5. See, try to simplify it. 5 into 1, 5. 5 minus 1, 4. So 4 by 5. So 1 minus 1 by 5 of John's salary. So 1 by 5 is equivalent to how much percent? 1 by 5 is a fraction and the corresponding percent is 20%. So from this we infer that Martin's salary is 20% less than John's salary. So using this integrating factor, we can calculate the answer very quickly. Then x is y% more than z. Always if this term occurs in the problem, then you can assume that x is equal to, since it is more than z, you can have 1 plus y by 100 into z. And x is 45% more than z, that is x is equal to 1 plus 45 by 100 into z. Likewise, you can have, if it is lesser, then you can replace plus with minus. And there are statement traps, and the type of statements are also here. A shopkeeper increased his price of goods by 20%, then he sold it at a discount of 10%. You can say that it is a statement trap. First the price is increased, then he sold at a discount of 10%. Calculate the net effect on his revenue. See, here we are not going to apply any formula, just a very straightaway or a shortcut method is, first try to understand, if he increased his price of goods 20%, see, write this 20% as 20 by 100, okay, and cancel 0 both in the numerator and the denominator. Now the value becomes 2 by 10. Now write the base number 10, and since it is increased you have to add, so 10 plus 2 will give you 12, write it here. And he sold it at a discount of 10%. So 10% can be written as 10 by 100, and simplifying you'll get 1 by 10. Since it is discount, we are giving an offer likewise, so we need to subtract it. So 10 is the base, write it over here, and 10, from 10 you need to subtract this 1. So 10 minus 1 will give you 9. Now try to find the product between these two. 10 into 10 it is 100. 12 into 9 it is 108. Now try to understand the difference between these two, 100 and 108. 108 minus 100, which is 8%. So the net effect on his revenue, the answer is 8%. I think it will be very quite clear, and it is a shortcut method where you can save your time. Within 2 to 3 seconds you can arrive at an answer also. So better, I think you can follow this procedure to solve the other problems also. We look into another problem where we use the same procedure. The price of PVR cinema hall is increased by 20%, then its price is decreased by 25%. These are statement traps. First it is increased and immediately it gets decreased. So we call it as a statement trap. Calculate the net effect. Now we need to calculate the net effect. First of all, it is increased by 20%. So 20% can be written as 20 by 100. Cancel it. It is 2 by 10. Write the base 10 here. And since it is increased, add the value 2 with 10. 10 plus 2 will give you 12. And in the next case, the price is decreased by 25%. 25% can be written as 25 by 100. Cancel it, you will get 1 by 4. The base is 4. Since it is decreased, you have to subtract 1 from 4. So 4 minus 1, which is 3. And try to find out the product. That is 10 into 4, it is 40. 12 into 3, it is 36. Now try to understand the difference between these two, which is 40 minus 36, it is 4. So calculate the net effect on price. We have to calculate the net effect. So it is 4%. So out of 40, it is 4. So what is in terms of percentage? It will be 10%. And the next one, if the length of the rectangle is increased by 20% and then breadth is decreased by 10%, calculate the net effect on area. The same procedure, the same thing I have did, and try to find out the difference. You'll get 8% as the answer. And here again the same problem. A value is first increased by 10% and again it is also increased by 10%. Here there is no ups and downs, both are increased at the same time. So what the net effect and what the percentage in its increase. Again 10%, it is 10 by 100, 20% can be written as 20 by 100. Add both the values, try to find out the difference. It is quite straightforward. That answer is 32%. Next, there is another question called 40% off plus 30% off. Likewise, they are varying a continuous discounts. First, initially they are offering 40% discount, then they are offering 30% discount. And I could not say that it is 40 plus 30, that is 70% discount. No, it is not the right one. So, how to calculate the net effect or the actual offer? Actual offer is 40 by 100, simplify it, 10 minus 4, since it is off, that is discount, you have to subtract, please do remember that one. So 10 minus 4, it is 6, and 30 by 100, it is again 10, 10 minus 3, it is 7, try to find the product, 142, and the difference is 58%, and the actual offer offered by the particular, particular mall is 58%. The radius of the circle is decreased by 10%, find the effect on area, right? The radius of a circle. So you know the area of the circle, the formula is pi r squared, right? The radius is decreased by 10%. So 10% can be written as 10 by 100. See here I have to write the radius twice because in the formula it means it is pi r square. R square is equal to r into r. So I have written the value twice. So here are 10, 9, again 10, 9, r squared, and multiply it 100, another one is 81, subtract it, you'll get 19%. So that is the total decrease in area. That is the effect what it has on area. And the last problem is, if the price of the petrol decreases by 20%, by what percent you can increase your consumption so that the expenditure remains the same? So I think this kind of questions quite often we come across in the competitive exams. So better you must be very familiar. Some guys what they usually do is straightforward, they'll write the answer as 20%, because see the price of the petrol decreases by 20%. By what percent you have to increase your consumption? The assumption what they have is initially consumption as 100, it decreases by 20%, so the consumption will become 80, and again decreases by 20%, so now the price of the petrol is 80, so the consumption will be 100, vice versa case, and immediately they see okay the difference is 20, so the answer is 20%. No, what we have to do is out of 80, the 20%, you have to calculate 20% of 80, so consumption is increased by 25% instead of 20%. Okay, I think you are clear with the problems. Thank you for watching.